Veterans at 3 college campuses just finished a week-long academic boot camp. Programs in Michigan, Texas, and Massachusetts were the last of more than a dozen that took place this summer. The Warrior Scholar Project prepares veterans to go back to school. Jan Crawford spent a day with participants at Amherst College. She's now outside Georgetown University, another of the campuses in the program. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning, Charlie. You know, Georgetown hosted the Warrior Scholar Project earlier this summer. It is a free program that gives veterans kind of this sneak peek at life inside the nation's top colleges. You know, they live on campus, they go to the cafeteria, they meet with professors. It's all teaching them how to translate that military background into a classroom.
Classes start at 0800 on the campus of Amherst College for these highly trained soldiers, sailors, and Marines, now hoping to become elite students.
This week's obviously rough. Their
guide for the week is Joshua Buck, a former Army sniper and drill sergeant now drilling a different kind of lesson.
We teach 3 things. It's critical reading, critical writing, and then, degreening or adjusting to the culture change. Yes, that's what we call it. Taking the uniform off, washing the camo paint off.
For the past 2 summers, Buck has been on the front lines of the Warrior Scholar Project, helping veterans move from the battlefield to the classroom.
These men and women are not trained for college, so that's where we come in. We're a boot camp. The military puts together,
a boot camp.
We are an academic boot camp.
Sid Ellington is a former Navy SEAL and the program's executive director.
And it gives them that immersive sort of experience. And once they've been through that, now they're a whole lot more confident, just like a soldier or a sailor is more confident coming out of boot camp.
It might sound strange that experienced veterans would need a confidence boost, but as former Navy Corpsman Barry Frederick points out, being a student is different than being in uniform.
Many of us getting out of the military, that was a big chunk of our lives, so we lose that part, that sense of being part of something. So we go to school, we become part of something else.
And it's completely foreign in a way.
In a way, yes.
The government spends $12 billion a year helping veterans pay for college through the GI Bill. But currently, 40% of that goes to for-profit colleges. And post-9/11 veterans barely make up 1% of the nation's elite colleges and universities. Amherst professor Jeffrey Sanborn spent time with the prospective students and says colleges like his need more veterans on campus.
Their military background is like a source of strength in this context. It's not something that you have to kind of check at the door.
The program encourages vets like 21-year-old Tracy Santos to consider community college with an eye on eventually transferring to a top school after first learning how to be a student again.
I think the scariest part is that these people that I am now surrounded by have come from school. It's like I've been out of school for 4.5 years, and it's like starting over.
Santos joined the Marines right after high school. She says one key to the program is it's taught by veterans.
They know exactly how to talk to you and put what you've done before in the service to what you can be doing now.
Buck spent 11 years in the Army, including 3 tours in Iraq, and went through the Warrior Scholar program himself in 2015. Now he uses his personal story to remind the students of what's important.
I have 8 friends tattooed on my arm that have died, but only 3 of them actually died in combat. The other 5 went out due to demons in their own head.
5 of your friends?
Yeah, and there's actually more than that now.
Fueled by that loss, Buck is working toward medical school, where he hopes to become a psychiatrist to help more veterans with the transition home.
It's personal for you.
Yep.
It seems like this program is also personal for you.
Yeah, because every one of these vets, whether I just met them this week or I haven't met them yet, I consider them family.
Now, with nearly 200,000 service members leaving the military every year, schools like Georgetown are actively trying to recruit more veterans. And with that in mind, the Warrior Scholars Project is looking to expand. It is totally funded by private donations. Now, as the president of Amherst College told us when we were up there last week, it's important as this program is for veterans, the benefits that it gives to colleges having veterans on campus is even greater. Norah?
That's a really good point, Jan. What a great story.
Every day we hear another story that suggests the appreciation and respect for the American military.
Yep.
I would agree.
Just something as simple. I was on a plane yesterday and they say, we'd like to welcome the veterans first and anybody in military uniform. And it makes you proud to say, right this way. But that story, you're right, is another example of how important it is.
Someone I respect once said, you know, you can judge a nation's values by how they treat their veterans and their most vulnerable. That's right. It's a good example that we're trying to take care of our veterans. Thank you, Jan, for that story.